Hey there, champ. I'm glad to see you're here. I love bracket pools. They're so easy to run and they are fun throughout the season. Bracket pools. It's not only the participating in a bracket pool fun, but it's also a chance for you to set up your own pool and invite all of your friends and coworkers. This actually can be an option for you throughout the year, as bracket pools can be set up for all of other professional and popular sports. Every sport will provide some different and unique options when it comes to bracket pools, which gives you some options when setting up these pools. This can now be done more effortlessly than ever, as our software Champs Sports Pool has all the tools needed to help you out. There are close to 70 million brackets filled out every year during March Madness, and thousands of others at other times of the year. A small fee is usually charged when putting together a bracket pool, and you can actually use this as a small business. Even if you still want to keep this a small and more fun of a contest for your friends, you can still use our tools we provide to make this a better experience. NCAA Hoops is still the top option. It's already been mentioned once, but it needs to be repeated before getting too far into the discussion of brackets. Bracket pools are commonly found during the NCAA tournament, and that is when you will get the most participation. Many people budget a certain amount of money for the NCAA tournament, and some of that money will be earmarked for entry fees. March is the best month for college basketball fans, but it's also fun and exciting for people who love bracket pools. Part of the reason bracket pools are so popular during March Madness is that this tournament is always unpredictable. This makes filling out a bracket much harder to do, and it also levels the playing field for anyone that submits a bracket. March Madness has become a cultural event, and it's much bigger than the action that takes place on basketball court. Because of that, you will see people entering brackets and having no intention of ever watching a basketball game. The NCAA tournament bracket is made up of 68 teams, and it can be pretty tough to keep everything in order and track the results. This is why you will need to lean on a service like Champs Sports Pools, because they can do all of the challenging work for you. The old ways of running a bracket pool with everything being done on paper are incredibly outdated, and that is just what takes too much time. Most people don't even enjoy filling out a bracket by hand anymore, as filling one out online is the best way. Make a plan for your pool. This is usually the part of running a bracket pool that people get incredibly wrong, as they wait too long before thinking about this. Trying to put together a pool on a selection Sunday is simply too late. It won't give people enough time to join. You should probably start thinking about setting up a bracket pool as soon as the new year begins, or at least some point in February. Start sending out invitations as early as possible, and then continue sending reminders to those who want to join you. The one part of this software that can help you out with planning is that you can keep your pool up and running for the following year. After you've laid the groundwork, you won't have to spend time setting everything up next year. Below are some of the things you want to consider when making a plan for your bracket pool. Entry fee. The first need to determine the entry fee that you're looking to charge everyone who wishes to enter. This needs to be a reasonable entry fee, as the main goal is to get as many people into the bracket pool as possible. It is usually a good idea to pick an entry fee that can be easily collected, so using multiples of 5 or 10 is exactly the way to go. You also want to consider how many people you want to get into your pool, as the entry fee will likely determine that number. After establishing your bracket pool, you can always increase your entry fee over time, but you want to start out low. Along with determining your entry fee, you also want to establish the maximum number of entries a single person can have. Once you have the entry fee and maximum number of entries set, you can start sending out those invitations to anyone interested. Determine scoring. Before you start inviting anyone to join your bracket pool, you have to establish how you're going to score this contest. Some people will refuse to join a bracket pool if the scoring system used is not the one they like. The default scoring system used at Champs Sports Pools will look like this. First round, 1 point. Second round, 2 points. Sweet 16, 4 points. Elite 8, 6 points. And the Final Four, 10 points. Last but not least, the National Championship, 16 points. This type of scoring rewards entrants for picking the teams that advance on the furthest in the NCAA tournament. There's also another way to go, where you reward those who correctly predict upsets. Some people prefer handing out 1 point per seed line, and those points can add up quickly if you have a tournament that has many upsets. As long as the information is communicated before the NCAA tournament begins, everyone should be okay with the scoring rules. Figure out payouts. The final part of your plan will be determine the payout amounts for each place in the bracket pool. This is done in several different ways, and you also have to decide if you want to take part of the cut or not. You can charge a fee for setting up and running the bracket pool, or you can put all the money back in. It's really up to you, but you should communicate this to your participants well before the NCAA tournament begins. If you're going to put all back into the pot, you'll be tasked with deciding how the prize money is set up. Some pools will award the champion all of the prize money, while other times that will be split up between a certain number of places. Additional options. Most people tend to think of the March Madness pool being offered before the NCAA tournament begins, but that's not the only option. One of the biggest reasons some people get frustrated filling out a bracket is that they can be out of the running by the end of the first weekend. If you really want to set up your game, you should think about having another bracket pool after the first weekend is complete. Offering another chance when the Sweet 16 is set will give players a chance to get back into it, and it can also provide new opportunities to make some money. Other sports can be offered. Even though college basketball is the top sport when it comes to offering bracket pools, that's not the only option. This type of pool doesn't work well during the regular season, but it's a great option during the playoffs. The biggest sports in the United States are NFL football and NBA basketball, and soccer is obviously a massive worldwide. Setting up a bracket pool is a possibility when it comes time for big tournaments or postseason events. The one thing that is slightly different about bracket pools for NBA or NFL playoffs is that the bracket will be much smaller. The NFL has started to expand playoffs, but you're still going to have 16 teams or less. There are also a series that are played in the NBA and NHL, which can make things a bit difficult. If you're going to have a bracket pool available for either one of those sports, you will have to weigh the rounds. There is a big risk of losing a paper copy of bracket when doing a pool by yourself, which can ruin the entire competition. Keep everything safe and secure online with software. Do you have any questions? Write them down in the comments section and we'll answer soon. Go to champsportspools.com to start running your own bracket pool today. Thank you for watching this lesson. We hope you learned a lot. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep learning about the bookie industry with us.